Talking of California, one of their leading alternative bands who were recently over here are Black Flag, who got together in Hermosa Beach, Los Angeles, back in '76. You probably best know them because of that Alternative Tentacles compilation album, Let Them Eat Jelly Beans. Well, in a moment, the ubiquitous John Tobler will talk to Greg, Chuck and Henry of Black Flag. But first, here's that track from Let Them Eat Jelly Beans, our own censored version of Police Story.
This city, run by pigs, they take the rights away from all the kids. Understanding, fighting a war, we can't win. They hate us, we hate them. We can't win, no way. Walk down the street, I think them off. They hit me across the head with a billy club. Understanding, fighting a war, we can't win. They hate us, we hate them. We can't win, no way. Nothing to do, nothing to say. I tell them go get, they put me away. Understanding, fighting a war, we can't win. They hate us, we hate them. We can't win, no way. City Hall. So I got a choice. Pay for my crime. Stand in line, pay bail. I may some time. Understanding, fighting a war. We can't win. They hate us, we hate them. We can't win. Away.
That was Police Story by Black Flag, and it's from the Jelly Beans compilation. It's funny, we regard punk rock as a very English kind of thing, because it seems to us that in Los Angeles you can't possibly have the kind of problems that we have.
Well, where did punk rock start? You know, it started with Iggy and the Stooges, MC5, the Dogs from LA, the Ramones from New York. I mean, that's how that was our inspirations in starting a band. And a lot of people over here too, and it's kind of a misconception that, you know, it came over from England or something, because it's not true.
We would a parallel phenomenon.
So you're kind of stereotyping punk rock as a certain, we're supposed to be protesting against bad conditions or something, and that's not what our music is about at all. Basically, our music is very personal and deals with our personal emotions. And
people everywhere, and if you're rich, you're poor, if you got 10 cars or one car,
or no,
you still fall in love, you still have emotions, you still get burned, you still have feelings, and feelings are what the music's about. That's the reason that anybody does it. The others, I think that, and I know if you go back to your English stuff, if you look at your Rolling Stones records, or if you look at your Sex Pistols records, that's where that comes from too. And that the social milieu that you tie it into is only a small part of it, and that someone who makes a bigger thing about the social part of it is not less legitimate, but maybe not hitting quite as directly at the point.
It's just that Los Angeles doesn't seem the right place for punks to exist, you know? I gather that your following is generally a fairly extremist kind of punks. I mean,
our following is a whole bunch of different kind of people, all ages, all races, all monetary classifications. I mean, it's ridiculous to put limitations on what you can like because of how much your daddy makes, and that's just ridiculous. And I think it's ridiculous to say Los Angeles is a wrong place for punk. Los Angeles has people in it. London and England and all the places in England has people in it. People feel. That's why we play. It's about what we feel. That's why
a lot of people's conception
everywhere.
of Los Angeles is like, you mentioned talking to Joe Walsh or something like that. These people live in a cocaine fantasy land in the hills above LA, and that has nothing to do with what Los Angeles really is.
Yeah, everybody isn't like Fleetwood Mac in Los Angeles.
LA is actually a very, very competitive, high-pressure city. More so than I found here.
Much more than London or something.
There's no bottom, for one thing. There's no floor on the U.S. economy, really. It's a little bit different situation.
in American ways. Face with choices I can take. American ways, American ways. I'm my own, I see my pain. I'm alone, on the way out. Smart enough, it's all spelled out. I know what I see, what I want. The doors are closed in this maze. I see my face in American ways. Face with choices I can take. American ways, American ways. I'm my own, I see my pain. Autumn looks for its kiss, going down on down. I see it coming. I can't do anything. Not for me, not for me. I won't end up in the heat. I want out, I'm free. Burning, burning. I see my place in American ways. Faced with choices I can't take. American ways, American ways. I'm my own, I see my pain.
This song American Waste that's on the six-pack thing. Now, somebody said to me they thought that was kind of a description of the people that were fans of the band.
I wrote the song about myself. And I wrote it because it's about what brought the feeling on me was that people at a certain point in my life say, don't think the way you want to think. Think like I think. Or the door's closed. That's why we had to start our own label. Otherwise, no way.
And I think, Greg, that you were able to finance the band, weren't you, from your outside activities? You invented something, didn't you?
Well, I used to work with electronics equipment and stuff. I made several things.
What's an antenna tuner?
Well, it's used on a radio equipment to adjust an antenna. It's kind of a specialized thing.
Wow!
Why can't you use your hands?
Okay.
No, it is the antenna tuners are responsible for about 2/3 of the finance of the band.
Yeah, right now we don't have any finances.
See, we started. It's more not so much financing the band, but at this point we have a fairly well organized label, a small label, SST Records, and we put out our first record, Nervous Breakdown, our second record, Jealous Again, a friend of ours band, the Minutemen's first EP, and then we
Their
got
album.
their album, which is called Punchline. Then we put out our third EP, six-pack in the U.S., which Alternative Tentacles is putting out here. And then we got a distribution deal through MCA, and we recorded an album to put out through MCA so we could get it, because by this point the name Black Flag has got a big enough name across the country. The MCA people heard it and all that and thought it was fine. They'd make money on it because there was a proven art market for it. And then Rolling Stone came forward and told them that the reputation was less than desirable, so they sidestepped the whole issue, came out and said it was anti-parent and revoked the distribution. And so that's what the Capitol thing did, is we had to build our own sort of system of...
That was a television show which, showed Black Flag as being a bunch of wild killers. And they get absorbed in this whole violence thing. They read Rolling Stone, and then they're like, oh my God, they're afraid to go out on the streets. They'll watch the news and they see a guy 10 blocks away gets his throat slit by a robber, and they figure the robber's right outside their door. It's this whole paranoia and everything.
And they see us move
and
in.
And then they see us move in. They go, like, oh my God, Black Flag is in my neighborhood. Well, I wonder if my daughter's half an hour
Close
late
the door.
from school. Close the door. Lock them. Pull the shades down.
That's basically the thinking behind the song. And the song is basically satire. It's about a TV party, people watching TV and partying at home, which is a sickness that is very prevalent in LA. The TV doesn't even turn off at 12 o'clock there. It keeps going all night.
24 hours.
Yeah, the people just pass out on the floor, wake up in the morning, grab another brew, and watch that TV all day.
We find that that's a more American waste, is that culture there, rather than the people that are really involved and would go to our gigs more.
What's the album called?
Damaged.
Damaged, yeah.
All right, and finally, would you tell me a bit about Rise Above?
Jealous cowards trying to control. Rise above, we're gonna rise above. They distort what we say. Rise above, we're gonna rise above. Try and stop what we do. Rise above, we're gonna rise above. When they can't do it themselves. Rise above, we're gonna rise above. We are tired of your abuse. Try to stop us, but it's no use. Cowards trying to control. Rise above, we're gonna rise above. They distort what we say. Rise above, we're gonna rise above. Try and stop what we do. Rise above, we're gonna rise above. When they can't do it themselves. Rise above, we're gonna rise above. We are tired of your abuse. Try to stop us. It's no use. Society's out of control. Rise above, we're gonna rise above. They get smart, can't think for themselves. Rise above, we're gonna rise above. Laugh at us, behind our back. Rise above, we're gonna rise above. I find satisfaction in what they lack. Rise above, we're gonna rise above. We are tired of your abuse. Try to stop us, but it's no use. Of your abuse. Try to stop us. It's no use. We're born with a chance. Rise above, we're gonna rise above. I am gonna have my chance. Rise above, we're gonna rise above. We are born with a chance. Rise above, we're gonna rise above. And I am gonna have my chance. Rise above, we're gonna rise above.
I love a bit of sensitivity, don't you? That's Rise Above. Black Flag from their forthcoming LP, which is going to be called Damaged. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yo.